Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Srila Prabhupada book reading session. Here we are currently reading the Nectar of Instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami, and currently we are at a fourth shloka. And today we will try to cover the entire purport. Okay, so let's start our session by offering the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadatin Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Viशाखान्वितांच हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाशात देशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगु लंगायते गिरि यत्कृपातहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। So, we will firstly recite the shlokas one time, okay? Hare Krishna, who wants to recite the first shloka?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. वाचो वेगम मनसा क्रोध वेगम जीवा वेगम उदरपस्थ वेगम एतां वेगम यो विशेष धीरा सर्वम अपिमां पृथ्वीं सा शिष्यात्। Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol Prabhuji. So in first shloka we learned that we have to tolerate these six urges
Yes.
of our urges to speak, urges of mind, urges of our anger, and urges of a tongue, belly, genitals. Then one become qualified to make disciples all over the world. Hare Krishna, who wants to recite the second shloka?
आद्याहारं प्रयश्च प्रजल्भो नियमाग्रह जनसंगश्च लौल्यं च सद्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति।
Very good. So in second shloka, Srila Rupa Goswami giving us instruction when we entangle with these six things, then our devotional service gets spoiled. So first is atyahara, eating more than necessary and collecting funds more than required. Second is the prayasa, over endeavoring for the mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. And third, prajalpa, talking unnecessary about the mundane subject matter. And fourth, that is niyamagraha, that means practicing scripture rules and regulation only for sake of following them and not for the sake of a spiritual advancement, or rejecting rules and regulation of the scriptures and working independently and whimsically. It means we are manipulating the instructions of a shastras and guru. And five is a jana sangha, that is associating with the worldly minded person who are not interested in Krishna consciousness and being greedy for the mundane achievements. So a jana sanghascha laulyam cha, when we associate with the worldly minded people, then the greed develop. Greed is good, na? When we have the greed to serve Krishna more and more, then this greed is good. The spiritual greed is good. You are not satisfied with your sadhana, you want to do more and more, you want to read the more Srila Prabhupada books, you have to you have to chant more and more rounds. So this spiritual greed is good, but when we have the material greed, I want this and that, and we start chasing the material things, then this greed is not good. Okay. Hare Krishna. Snigdha Mataji, would you like to recite the third shloka?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. उत्साहनिश्चयधैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागत सतो वृत्ति सद्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति। हरि बोल।
Hari bol Mataji. So yes, as there are pros and cons. So the third shloka, Srila Rupa Goswami giving us instruction that if you execute these six things, then we will these six things are favorable for a pure devotional service, and they are giving us the 100% guarantee that by doing these six things we will develop the pure devotional service. So first is a enthusiastic, second is a endeavoring with the confidence, and third is a being patient, fourth is a acting according to regulative principles such as a Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and five is a abandoning association of a non-devotees. Again, and again Sangatyagat. So we can see how important association is. And six is a following the footsteps of our previous acharyas. So Hare Krishna, who wants to recite the fourth shloka?
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna.
ददाति प्रतिगृह्णाति गुह्यमख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधं प्रीतिलक्षणम्।
Hare Bol Mataji. So yes, association is important, and in last shloka we understand that we should associate with the Krishna's devotees, we should associate with the pure devotees, and so yes, in what way we can associate, and what are the priti lakshanam, how can we do the exchanges between the devotees? So Srila Rupa Goswami instruct us by offering the gifts in a charity and accepting the charitable gifts, and we also see these gifts, these charitable gifts they should be related to Krishna, and they should be gift in such a way that we are not going to break regulative principles, or these gifts can be engaged in Krishna's service. So center should be Krishna in always. Okay, then the revealing one's mind in confidence and inquiring confidently. So yes, we should open our mind. When we think that I can do it by myself, I can do everything, I can chant, I can I don't need to hear from someone, I don't have to talk with someone, I can read my own. And even you are reading the Srila Prabhupada books and you are not hearing from the a senior devotees, then sometimes you may misunderstand the instructions of a Srila Prabhupada. So it is very important to practice the spirituality in the presence of a devotees, devotees give you provide you the protection. Okay, then inquiring confidentially, so we don't have to inquire confidentially about the material things. Okay, how can I how can I get the better job, how can I get the promotion? We have to inquire how can we serve Krishna in a better way. We can inquire about the Krishna leelas. Okay, Krishna's pastimes, and then accepting prasadam. As we see in the first shloka, when we accept the prasadam, our consciousness get purified, and we are easily, Krishna is so merciful. Krishna has given his remnants of a food, so that we can control our tongue, and when tongue is a control, then our belly and genitals get controlled. Okay, then third is offering prasadam, so we should offer the prasadam. So in yesterday's session, we have seen na, yes, when it comes to Guhyam Akhyati Prasthiti, we should approach the a little senior devotee, which is just above ourselves. When we when you try to consult a very pure devotee, we cannot match their standards. Okay, but when you approach someone who is just above us, who is a good in a reading hearing, then we can approach him and we can ask can you please give us some tips so that I also chant better, or can you please give me some tips so that I should I'm able to recall the lectures like you. So we should always ask the devotees how we can become better in our spiritual life. Then Prabhupada also said that even in a social, in material social activities, even businessmen want to deal with another businessman, he asked the businessman to come on the dinner, or come on the lunch. Then they while they are taking their lunch or dinner, they can they opens their mind, they speak they say, okay, I have this plan, would you like to join me? So these are the things like you have to like you can ask the devotees to come to your home. You can offer them prasadam, okay, and like you can do the kirtan. So like this six kinds of loving exchanges like between the devotees, like they are also common in the material world, okay. And in a Bhagavad Gita 2.62, like it is stated that Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. One's desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keeps. So a man is known by his company. So like whom you are associating is like very important. Like from first four shlokas we can take out now, association is very important. So like once desires and ambitions develop, like when you are associating with the pure devotees, like even Srila Prabhupada in a form of his book, then like you will have the spiritual desires. But like you are or like staying with some material people, then like they will have the material desires. I want this car, I want to go on a world tour, or like I want like and their list never stops, and like they will, even they achieve something, they will never be satisfied, okay. And they will always have these material ambitions. And what's the wrong with these material ambitions, that like they are going to like vanish with this body, and like you, and they are not permanent na? And like we think that we are in an illusion. We think that like by fulfilling the material desires and ambitions we will be happy, but this is not true. Like we will never be happy by doing the sense gratification. We will be only happy when we take the shelter to the lotus feet of our dear Krishna. And because we are like material things, they are mostly related to this our these bodies, but we are the spirit soul. Like simply by refilling the petrol and diesel to the cars, like a driver is not going to satisfy na? Like his hunger is not going to full. So like to satisfy his hunger, like we should offer him prasadam. So similarly, like simply by eating, sleeping, mating, like we are fulfilling the needs of this body, which is like a car. but while we are doing any activity related to Krishna consciousness, chanting, hearing, reading Srila Prabhupada books, then we are feeding ourselves, we are feeding the soul, okay. So it is very important to take care of our like car also, and we have to take care of a driver also, okay. So like when we our car is not good, so like we cannot practice the spirituality. So we have to take care of our body. We don't have to ignore, but like we don't have to like too much be a body conscious, that we shouldn't forget about the Krishna consciousness, our swadharma, okay. Then the Prabhupada quoted the verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya ka Bhunaya Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karaya Udaya, means like a pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the heart of a living entities. So like this Krishna consciousness is not new for us. It is like it is our dormant nature. This is our nature. And like when we start practicing the spirituality, then like this nature comes out, okay. This is not artificial, this is very natural to every living being. So like when we are preaching, they have a small spark of the spirituality, and when we like fan them with our association, with our preaching, then like it comes to the blazing fire, okay. So then it is not something to be gained from the another source. When the heart is purified by the hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. So like how like this Krishna consciousness awakes, like when our heart get purified. And how our heart get purified by hearing and chanting, okay. So we should hear, and like we should chant more, and like that too without the offenses, okay. Like when we are committing the offenses, like you are not going to get like a result, like desired result for the chanting, okay. Like by shravanam and kirtanam, our heart directly get purified, okay. So even it is stated by stated in Shishta Ashtakama first stanza na Cheto Darpana Marjanam. When we chant the holy name, our like a mirror of our heart, like which accumulate the like dust, get like get clean. And even the it extinguished, when we chant the holy name, it extinguished the like fire of a conditional life, okay. So it increases the ocean of a transcendental bliss and enables us to taste nectar of nectar for which we are anxious. So like everyone, what everyone wants, everyone want the happiness, but like this material happiness, it's a flickering and it's non-permanent. Okay, it comes and it goes, but the spiritual happiness is not like this. The spiritual happiness is a real happiness and it's not flickering, it's a permanent happiness. And like Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipada Purnamrita Swadanam. So like how is this spiritual happiness? Like it comes, like it stays, it stay constant, and like it is increase. It with the time happiness increases. Okay. So like it is not same for the material happiness. Material happiness come and go. Whereas spiritual happiness comes, stay, and it like with the time it increases. Okay. With the time, more we become purified, more we become Krishna consciousness, we will start feeling the we will feel the more and more happiness in the spiritual activities. Okay, so like yes, everyone is anxious for the happiness, and but like from the sense gratification, we are not going to get the real happiness. We are not going to become happy. Okay, and like Maha Mantra is so powerful, so powerful. Like when like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going through the Jharkhand forest, like when he was doing the kirtan, even the animals joined. Like when these animals and plants or insect, when they hear the Maha Mantra, they get purified, and everyone like they also get the liberated. Okay, they also went to the Vaikuntha Dham. So this is the power of holy name. So like we can take out one point from this. When we are moving inside, like when we see any insect, ant, or like when we see the trees, like for that tree we can chant the holy name. Like we can stay in front of them, like, and we can chant the holy name for them. Like our one mantra can give them a lot of pious activities, and they can get the human birth, and they can get the association of a pure devotees, and they can practice the spirituality. Okay, so yes, we like again Prabhupada, like yesterday we ended with a paragraph where Prabhupada says that one should inquire about the Krishna consciousness movement and open his mind in order to understand the situation of this material world. So everyone, like we have read like 7 books of Srila Prabhupada, and we know Prabhupada in every book, Prabhupada is saying this material world is a dukkhalayam, ashashvatam, and like they are full of miseries, and like we are like Maya Devi is like giving us the Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik, Adi Atmik miseries, and like everyone is feeling, na? Like so, like we should talk about, we should inquire about this subject's matter. So when we are like when devotees are meeting, they should not gossip about the mundane things or material things. They should speak about the Krishna. Okay, they can speak about the sadhana, how to improve, and they can speak how can they serve Krishna more and more. So this material like a condition of this material world is so miserable. Okay, and this is the Prabhupada says this is not the right place for the gentleman to live. Okay, so Hare Krishna, who wants to read from the members of our international society?
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Yes, Vinod Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. The members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness invite the society members and supporters to dine with them when they hold love feasts in all their branches every Sunday. Many interested people come to honor Prasada, and whenever possible, they invite members of the society to help society to their homes and feed them sumptuously with Prasada. In this way, both the members of the society and the general public are benefited. People should give up the company of so-called yogis, jnanis, karmis, and philanthropists because their association can benefit no one. If one really wants to attain the goal of human life, he should associate with devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement because it is the only movement that teaches one how to develop love of God. Religion is the special function of human society, and it constitutes the distinction between human society and animal society. Animal society has no church, mosque, or religious system. In all parts of the world, however downtrodden human society may be, there is some system of religion. Even tribal aborigines in the jungles also have a system of religion. When a religious system develops and turns into love of God, it is successful. As stated in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6, The supreme occupation for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. If the members of human society actually want peace of mind, tranquility, and friendly relations between men and nation, they must follow the Krishna conscious system of religion, by which they can develop their dormant love for Krishna, the super personality of Godhead. As soon as people do so, their minds will immediately be filled with peace and tranquility. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. So yes, so what Prabhupada is saying here, yes, like when you don't have the devotee association, or like when devotees are there, like you can go for the Sunday feast, and like we can see now, like in starting, the people are not so Krishna consciousness, and they are not even ready to uh hear hear the message of a Godhead. So when we give them prasadam, like when their consciousness get purified, and when they get enough pious balance, then they can start hearing the instructions of of Krishna. Okay, so like we can also visit the Sunday feast programs at our like a Namhatta, or on the temples, and like we can, like if it is possible for you, like we can also like hold this program in our inside our home, like on the Sundays. Okay, so like what Prabhupada is saying here, that you have to give up the company of a so-called yogis, gyanis, karmis, and philanthropists, like because it's not going to benefit, it's not going to benefit anyone. Okay, like in order to attain the goal of human life, we must associate with the devotees of Krishna. Like when we are as we see it with association, this desires comes and ambitions comes. So yes, it is very important to whom we associate. Like when it yes, we go in a temple for the 2 to 3 hours, or even 5 6 hours. We can stay in a devotee association. But like when like we are at home, to whom we are associating? Are we reading the books, or are we scrolling? Like even you are scrolling now, what I think now, is when you are scrolling, even the content is a Krishna consciousness, but like you are that time you are doing the sense gratification. If you like, you can hear. If you don't like, you are swiping it up. So okay, 5 10 minutes you can do, like a maximum 15 minutes, but like it is always better to open one katha which is of a 30 minutes or 15 minute or 1 hour, and like you should hear the entire katha, because like in they just they just cut the one clip of a 30 minutes, but like you don't know the what is the background and what the further instruction. So like you don't know the actual mood, actually what the devotee devotee want to explain to us. So it is always better to go through the entire lecture. Like you are when you are watching the shorts, like it is like a sense gratification, and it is addictive. Okay, yes, we should addict to the Krishna katha, but like in not in this way. Okay, you should read the Srila Prabhupada books, and like you should try to hear the entire lecture. Like even if a lecture is a 1 hour, like you can break it into the 15 minutes, in 4 parts, and you can hear one part now, another 15 minutes on the another time. Okay, so like because it's also don't break our concentration. Okay, and like our focus will be stay there. Otherwise, like when you watch that kind of reels, and when you are chanting, that reels come again and again in front of you, and there will be no link. Okay, so we should try to hear the entire classes. And yes, the yes, a religion system is for the human society, and the religion is good when it develops the love for Krishna, love for God. Like if you are following any religion, and like you are simply going in a temple, and you are simply praying, please give me this, please please give me job, or give me the good marks, or give me this and that, give me, please sanction my home, please sanction my car. So like you are only asking, they are like you are simply acting like you are the owner, and you are asking the demigods, or you are asking the Krishna. But like in this business relationship, there is no love. So like this kind of religion system, like a karma kanda system, is not good, because ultimately you are not developing love, and even you are developing love, it's conditional, because like whatever I'm asking, he is providing. So this is not good. And even Srimad Bhagavatam, the sages of Naimisharanya, they asked the question to the Srila Sutta Goswami that what is the ultimate good for everyone, and what is the summary of a Vedic knowledge? So the answer is a devotional service. And even in a second shloka, what they are saying, स वै पुंसं परो धर्म युक्तो भक्तिर अदोक्षजे अहेतुकी अप्रतिहता योक्तमासु प्रसिद्धति. So like yes, we have to perform the devotional service, but how? That is ahetuki apratihata. It should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Okay, if Krishna fulfill my desire, so I will worship him. Oh, he is not fulfilling my desire, so I should I'm not going to worship him. Or okay, today I offer the Mangalarti, tomorrow I'm not going to offer. It should be uninterrupted. Every day you should do your sadhana, okay, and it should be unmotivated. You shouldn't do business with a Krishna, like we shouldn't do business with our loved ones, okay. So this is our supreme occupation. So yes, then we can read further. And yes, here Prabhupada also saying now when one become the Krishna consciousness, their minds will immediately fill with the peace and tranquility. So when we are not feeling the peace and we are not feeling tranquility, means we haven't take the Krishna consciousness seriously, and we are not practicing Krishna consciousness seriously, because these are the words of a pure devotee, and their words are the line on a stone surface. Here Prabhupada is saying minds will immediately. So when minds are not immediately feeling the peace and tranquility, means we haven't listened carefully with a rapt attention. Yes, Sarita Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. One second. In this regard, the bhakti way, one second Mataji, I'll just change the screen. It becomes easy for me to read. Yeah. In this regard, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura warns all devotees engaged in broadcasting the Krishna conscious movement not to speak to the impersonalist Mayavadis who are always determined to oppose such theistic movements. The world is full of Mayavadis and atheists, and the political parties of the world take advantage of Mayavada and other atheistic philosophies to promote materialism. Sometimes they even back a strong party to oppose the Krishna consciousness movement. The Mayavadis and other atheists do not want the Krishna consciousness movement to develop because it educates people in God, in God consciousness. Such is the policy of the atheist. There is no benefit in feeding a snake milk and bananas because the snake will never be satisfied. On the contrary, by taking milk and bananas, the snake simply becomes more poisonous. Kevalam Visha Vardhanam. If a snake is given milk to drink, its position simply increases. For a similar reason, we should not disclose our minds to the serpent Mayavadis and Karmis. Such disclosures will never help. It is best to avoid association with them completely and never ask them about anything confidential because they cannot give good advice. Nor should we extend invitations to Mayavadis and atheists, nor accept their invitations. For by such intimate intermingling, we may become affected by their atheistic mentality, sangat sanjayate kamaha. It is the negative injunction of this verse that we should refrain from giving anything or accepting anything from the Mayavadis and atheists. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also warned, Vishaira Anna Kaile Dushtahaya Mana. By eating food prepared by worldly people, one minds become wicked. Unless one is very advanced, he is unable to utilize everyone's contribution to further the Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, on principle, one should not accept charity from the Mayavadis or atheists. Indeed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has forbidden devotees to associate with ordinary men who are too addicted to material sense gratification. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes. So yes, here Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura telling us, okay, we have to pre-reach, but we don't have to pre-reach to the Mayavadis and the impersonalists, because they are very determined to oppose about the God, about the God consciousness movements. So even like we need to be very careful to pre-reach. We shouldn't pre-reach the Mayavadis and atheists, even the political parties, because they want they want some some material benefits. So they promote the materialism. Okay, and here the analogy of a analogy is giving that like when we feed the bananas and milk to the snake, it is not going to it's not worth it, because it's simply going to uh, increase their poison. So we should so in similar way we shouldn't disclose our minds to the serpents mayavadis and karmis, because when we try to pre-reach them, whatever we are saying, they use the same knowledge to offend the Lord, and they use the same knowledge to convert the atheistic people to the God conscious people to the atheist. Okay, so even in a shastra, in a Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that like even the yogis, like uh, even the devotees of a Lord become happy when someone kills the snakes and the scorpions, because the snakes when you feed them more, their poison increases, and even like there is no danger, then also they come and bite some persons. So there are chances they are going to kill without any fault of a person. So it is so even there are incidents like when a snake enter in a Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's ashram, then like he told him to kill the snakes. So yes, that time we don't have to become the like a daya, we can show the mercy to the general people, but don't have to show our mercy to the mayavadis and this impersonalists, and we are not that much purified to convert these mayavadis to the God consciousness or devotees, so we should be stay away from them. Okay, and like we never ask them about anything, and we should never ask them anything confidential uh, about the Krishna, or like about the gods. Okay, and like in this shloka we see now like these are the six things that like we can do. So here what they are saying, that sanga sanjayate kama, means like negative injection is that like we have to refrain from such giving anything and accepting anything from these mayavadis and atheists. And even the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Vishayara anna khaive drishta hoye mana. So we should never eat like the food prepared by the worldly people. Then our mind becomes fickle, and like we are not able to control our mind. So like we should eat from the devotees hands. Like we can see like when we are not eating like you can try this for 1 month now. Like 1 month you simply prepare in a full consciousness, okay, I'm preparing to satisfy my Krishna. Like you can prepare your a bhoga by chanting the holy names and by hearing the kirtan, and like with the consciousness to please the Krishna. Then like when you accept that prasadam, you can see the quality of your chanting. And on next month you can like next month you and that in that month period, like you don't have to eat anything from outside. Okay, you have to only prepare with a good consciousness, offer, and then accept. So like next month you can do this another experiment, that like you don't have to prepare or you don't have to accept the prasadam from the pure devotees, but you have to take the prasadam from the material people. Like you don't have to even do it for the months now. Like it within the 2 to 3 days you can see the results in your chanting. Your mind will be very restless. Like he will have the unnecessary thoughts, because like when one prepare the food, whatever consciousness he was preparing the food, that consciousness enter inside that food. So it is very important to accept the prasadam that to prepare by the devotees. Like we shouldn't accept the prasadam prepared by the non-devotees. Okay, so yes, and like we should never invite the Mayavadis for anything. Hare Krishna. Yes, Ritvika Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Sanjay. Hare Krishna Matas. The conclusion is that we should always keep company with devotees, observe the regulative devotional principles, follow in the footsteps of the acharyas, and in full obedience carry out the orders of the spiritual master. In this way, we shall be able to develop our devotional service and dormant Krishna consciousness. The devotee who is neither a neophyte nor a Maha Bhagavata, a greatly advanced devotee, but is within The middle status of devotional service is expected to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, make friends with the devotees, show favor to the ignorant, and reject the jealous and demoniac. In this verse, there is a brief mention of the process of making loving transactions with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and making friends with the devotees. According to the Dadati principle, an advanced devotee is supposed to spend at least 50% of his income on the service of the Lord and his devotees. Srila Rupa Goswami has set such an example in his life. When he decided to retire, he distributed 50% of his life's earnings to Krishna service and 25% to his relatives and kept 25% for personal emergencies. This example should be followed by all devotees. Whatever one's income, 50% should be spent on behalf of Krishna and his devotees, and this will fulfill the demands of the Dati. In in the next verse, Srila Rupa Goswami informs us what kind of Vaishnava should be selected as a friend and how Vaishnavas should be served. Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji. Yes, thank you, Mataji. So yes, so in this paragraph, like we can see now, what Prabhupada is saying. Like we are not that much new that like we don't know the difference between a soul and in this body, and we don't know the what is difference between the material world and spiritual world. Like so currently we are at a middle status, so like in this state we are expected to develop the love for a supreme personality for Godhead. And how we can how this in this middle state, how we can interact with all the people, that it shows that like we have to make the friendship with the devotees, so we have to make the devotee friends. And second, we have to show the favor to the ignorant. When someone is very new, then we should be very compassionate towards the some person which are they are new in this Krishna consciousness. We can help them by we can guide them, we can help them in their classes also, we can help them in our in their life also. Okay, so we have to help them in a Krishna consciousness. We have to be very compassionate towards them, and like we have to reject the jealous and demonic people, and we don't have to associate with these Mayavadis and atheists. Okay, so we have to reject them, or we have to ignore them. And also the Dadati principle, that advanced devotee is supposed to spend the 50% of his income in Krishna service, and the 25% for his family, and 25% for his personal emergencies. But this is practically one who is advanced, they can do. For ourselves, it is we cannot stay like this. How? Why? Because what Prabhupada said, we should be live simple, and we should think higher. But currently we are not living simply, so our most of the expense goes buying the unnecessary stuff, and which is actually not necessary. Most of our income goes to buy the clothes, and buy the unnecessary things. So we are not living the simply now. So but when one tries use this principle to live simply, and to highly think, and their focus will be only the Krishna consciousness, then they can follow. And even we can see, even if you have the 1 lakh salary, and when you have to give some around 20 to 25 thousand to Krishna, then your mind will say, oh, why you have to give it? We can do the many things. You have the house responsibilities, you have to give this money to your wife and children, you have to pay fees and that, because we are not that purified now. So our mind and Maya start harassing us. We have too much attachment with this with our material assets. So okay, so yes, these are the this distribution is given here by the Srila Rupa Goswami. He spent 50% for the in a service to Krishna and his devotees, and 25% for his personal emergencies, and 25% of his family. When one really advance in the spirituality, when you become come on the platform of pure, only he can do. Even there are many examples in our society, like by Krishna's mercy, they work in a like very good companies. They have the like whatever salary they have, like almost 80 to 90% salary they are giving to the temples. Okay, they are really on the high platform because they are not develop the attachment to their material things. So today we will end here. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. So from the today's session, we can meditate upon the two things that like while we are roaming in a parks or like when we are seeing any dog, cat or insect or even the trees, we can chant the Maha Mantra for them. And a second is that like yes, only by hearing the Maha Mantra, they get the supreme benefit. Okay. And the second will be like we have to be very choosy about the association. Okay. With the material people. Hare Krishna, Vinod Prabhu, you have to take care of your mic. Okay.
Hare
So
Krishna Mataji.
yes, so like while like we don't have to deal with the Mayavadi people, okay, and like third one we can take like we have to be very careful like when we are accepting the food stuff offered by the non-devotees, okay. It is going to like our mind will become restless and our mind will become rekilled, okay. So Hare Krishna everyone, happy Krishna conscious day. Please try to take out some points and try to enroll involve this point in our daily life, okay. Then
Hare Krishna.
when we do this, then only our like a session is successful and we are we will go near to Krishna. So Hare Krishna everyone, Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
happy Krishna
Hare
conscious day.
Krishna
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you for
Hare
joining.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.